So our next move is to set up our clearance planes. Now these steps do have to be performed in order. If you don't know where your coordinate system is relative to the part, of course, you can't set clearance planes accurately. So I'll click on clearance plane here. Notice that it is currently red, meaning that it hasn't been set. Here's your clearance plane dialog. And when you do this with a CAD model, it's extremely easy. The software will recognize that you're using CAD, and it'll give you a clearance plane from CAD model button right here, and you'll simply click that. We're doing the teach-in method, so we don't even have a CAD model for this, so we're going to have to do these manually. Now notice the plus Z is highlighted in pink, so we're going to drive over to something above the highest point in the program. Now notice that I'm driving on top of the clamp rather than driving on top of the part, right? When I'm moving from one location to another, if I only lift it up this far and I try to go from some point down here on the part and I try to jump over the clamp over to here, well, I have to bear in mind I'm not just jumping over the part, I'm also jumping over the clamp. This is also why it's really important to document your setup for your fixturing, and it's also why I changed out this longer clamp. Even though it would have worked fine, I want to make sure I'm not ramming my clamps into my sensor during the operation of the program. So I'm above the highest thing I might hit, and the plus Z button is highlighted in pink. And now I'm going to hit the fire missile button, if you will. On the right joystick, there's a little button on top. We'll press that. It's just like the movie, thank you. It's just like the movie Independence Day. You want to press that button to launch the missile. I guess that reference is probably a little bit old considering it's 2021, but go watch the movie. It's a good movie. So notice that our Z-axis is no longer highlighted in pink, but it captured our location relative to our coordinate system. So now it will automatically highlight this plus X in pink. So now we're going to drive over to whatever we might hit in the X-axis. And in this case, I'm just going to do this based on the part. I'm not going to do this based on the fixturing because I don't want to have to drive all the way around the outside of this fixturing to avoid something. It's really just after I touch a point here, when I pull back off, how far off do I have to pull? Well, I want to pull right about there, maybe 1/8 or 1/4 inch off the right side of the part. And I'll again press that fire missile button, and notice that the X positive axis has now been pulled from our coordinate system. So the software will automatically move to Y positive next, so we'll drive off the back side of the part. We will repeat the same process. Now the software moves over to, I believe it's X minus next. So we'll do the same thing there, and then we'll move off the front side of the part. The software is now looking for Y minus. So I'm off the front side of the part here and press the missile fire button again. And the only one that we're not going to populate is going to be this minus Z. So this minus Z is actually not even used by the software, and we don't even want to populate it here. We'll say OK. We get a dialog that says, do you want to update clearance plane settings for defined features? Your answer to this should be no by default. More detail to come on that in a separate tutorial.